It's time once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
I'm Corey.
I'm Carlisle. How are you guys doing this week?
Oh, man, how you doing? How are you doing this week?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's been an all right week.
You just came from a barbecue, right?
I just came from, good old-fashioned Texas barbecue. We they were grilling up chicken and carne asada, and we had...
what, you got there cooking with Mexicans or something?
No, but... Oh, come on, yeah, because only Mexicans have cooked fajitas on the grill.
Exactly. Real fajitas, yeah. Best fajitas I had by Mexican. No. Best fajitas I had were made of Mexicans. So and okay, anyway, you're looking at me like I'm a Mexican hater.
I was over at my buddy Harry's house, and he just had a bunch of friends over, and we just had a couple beers and a couple, fajitas, and
nice.
Just did it up right. Just got one of those late-minute phone calls. Hey, we're getting a bunch of people together. What for? Just 'cause.
Yeah, we got a bunch of meat, got a grill.
We got a bunch of meat, got a grill, got some beer. Come on over. So we, my friend lives a couple blocks away, so we walked over and
nice.
Just had some.
So you ain't drunk right now, right? Ain't it?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I knew I had to work tonight, so.
Oh, okay.
I had to come here to get drunk.
You're a responsible movie person. So, as usual, we start out with the top 5.
Oh, let's not do that this week.
Why?
Just because we always do it. Let's break tradition and not talk about the crappy top 5.
Well, what would we do? What would we do in its place? What, a sing-along or something?
We could talk about why we're not talking about the top 5. I don't care. Yeah, let's talk about the top 5. It is a very America. I am disappointed with you once again.
You really want me to talk about the top 5 now? You have me curious. My interest is piqued. I can't even jump into it.
Have you not taken a look at the top 5 yet?
Yeah, I did, but I predicted what would happen before I even looked at it.
Sure, but it still allows me. I mean, I totally understand it. There are reasons for it, but I'm still disappointed with it.
As a matter of fact, the way it's laid out is exactly the way I predicted it would be, and I was dreading it would not be that way. But what can I say?
Number 5.
That's what I can say. Number 5 is Leatherheads.
Hey, it held on. Who knew it would still be in the top 5 a week later?
Still up there. Hey, George Clooney got some pull.
Hey, it did better than some of the movies that premiered this week. Smart People it came in at number 7.
Yeah, I knew Smart People wouldn't bring it to the top 5, though.
No, it did. A feel-good indie movie, no. Little Miss Sunshine was a fluke. Everyone who keeps trying to redo Little Miss Sunshine is going to find that, it's lightning. It doesn't strike twice in the same place.
No, I mean, I don't think it's out of expectations for something like Smart People, because Smart People is one of those films where it's released in fewer theaters. It's a very select crowd, and honestly, I just finished doing a review for it. It's something we've all seen, no matter how independent and smart it tries to come across.
Well, yeah, but that was Little Miss Sunshine too.
I mean, Little Miss Sunshine was. You know what the deal with Little Miss Sunshine was?
No, why don't you tell me, Corey?
I would tell you. I think they had a really good hook with the little girl. That whole thing with beauty pageants and that little girl. I think that's what drew people in there.
Well, you know what really worked for it was that it's
Abigail Breslin.
Well, everyone I talked to, it was that last third of the movie is what really sold them on it. That they thought it was just, it was a standard indie comedy until we get to the pageant, and the pageant is just so fucked up that it drops jaws and it's uncomfortable and people get creeped out and that makes an impression, and it wins over everything else because the movie went where it needed to go.
But they fooled people. They fooled people into thinking that it was more mainstream than it was. You can't do anything like that with something like Smart People. So, in fact, the title is called Smart People. You got dumbasses like, I ain't going to see that shit.
There was a little bit, you know what, I called it as well, but there was a little bit of expectation here because, it's Ellen Page's follow-up to Juno, and it's like, hey, there's so much heat on her right now.
Yeah.
I mean, really, she could read the phone book for 2 hours, and critics all over America would go, oh, she was so precocious and wonderful, and it was a great retelling of the book. It would, it's...
Well, maybe if they filmed her reading the book, I could keep up with it, but I want to listen to that chick read the phone book. But Smart People, maybe you called it something like moderately okay people or semi-intelligent people. You might have got more
above average people.
Above average people, but smart people, you got dumbasses from the ghetto and the trailer parks walking up like, that ain't for me. So let's go to number 4, which is
number 4,
Nim's Island. Which, man, that movie's
Holding
doing.
on there, man, with its $9 million.
Damn, see, it's that little girl I told you, Abigail Breslin. She was in
Or it
Little
could
Miss
be,
Sunshine. And,
or it could be the fact that every kid in America has already seen Horton Hears a Who, which was number 6, and so they said, "Hey, let's go see Nim's Island instead."
I just don't get it with that movie, man. I mean, not that I don't think it really deserves it. I just, like I said, I just never saw that movie out there. It was just not getting the attention I thought it was. I guess it was, though.
Well, no, because it didn't do very well at all, especially for a kids' film. A good kids' film should always win number 1, and if it doesn't win number 1, you weren't pushing hard enough.
Yeah, I didn't have any talking
Even
animals.
bad films that are bad kid films take number 1.
But you got to put some animal in the trailer saying hello or something.
They did. They had the little dancing iguana. I saw the trailer.
He didn't say hello. He said,
iguana.
man. He didn't say, you got to have them actually speaking English. You got to have them getting up and saying, hey, Nim, I love your island. But they didn't have that here. So there's a difference between a CG animated movie, which really draws people in, and something like Nim's Island, where you just got people running around an island and it's nothing magical really happening.
Yeah, and yet they can still both take number 1 if you push hard enough.
Okay. Well, it was number 2. So
last week, but now it's because it started at number 3, but then when the actuals came in, it flipped from number 3 to number 2.
Yeah,
we got called on that last week, and I had to explain because for those of you that don't read the comments on here, what happened last week was we reported that Nim's Island was number 3,
and that's what was posted up
as
there.
of Sunday night.
Yeah,
the numbers that the studio reported. Nim's Island was number 3. Now, what happens is on Sundays, the studios kind of send out these numbers that are preliminary numbers, and that's what everything's based on. Once in a blue moon, when they actually tally up the numbers, they find out that somebody inflated here or there to get some early, push on their movie. Like, oh, look, we were number 1, and no, you were number 2 by a couple $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. It was very close, but moved up to number 2.
And they flipped.
Well, for Nim to come in and beat the shit out of George Clooney, it's kind of
cool for them. It's not an ass beating. Both times it was really close.
Yeah, it was just like a little nudge.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a tap on the shoulder. Hey, George, look over there, and whoop, jump ahead of them in line.
Which is great for an independent film like Clooney's movie. A small little thing. It's not bad.
Leatherheads was an independent movie. What?
I don't know if it's. I'm not sure if it's independent. The minute that came out of my mouth, I was like, "Was it
Leatherheads
actually independent?"
It's anything but independent.
Dude, it was a small movie. It was not a big film at all.
Leatherheads is not an independent movie. That movie was made by a major studio, had major actors in it.
Well, no, it had major actors, but so does.
But it was released by a major studio, had major studio backing.
I thought it was one of the smaller studios.
Nope. No, not at all, man.
Nope.
No, that's shit. No, not at all. So let's move up to number 20. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the title of these goddamn numbers are confusing me. Number 3, which is 21.
Which we've talked about enough. It's hung on there.
Is there? It will probably be in the top 5 next week. It's making money. It's doing surprisingly well. What can we say?
I don't know, because next week there's some stiff competition next week.
Yeah, no. What's coming out next week?
Oh, there's a bunch of stuff coming out, but the big thing, of course, is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Comes out next week.
See, I wonder how big that movie's going to be.
Dude, it's got from the makers of Superbad and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
So did Drill Bit Taylor, though.
No, Drill Bit Taylor was one of those. It was from that same company, but that wasn't all over the place.
No, they said that, though.
Yes, but people looked at Drill Bit Taylor and said, oh, no fucking way. And the early buzz on it sucked. The early buzz on this has all been really strong. In fact, I've only met one person so far who really didn't like it.
That was Leon.
Yeah, but this happens with Leon every once in a while. Leon will hear from us that we're like, oh, my God, you have to see this movie. And me and Cyrus are just going nuts over this movie. We're just like, oh, this movie's so funny. It's the funniest thing we've seen all year. And so he goes in going, oh, wow, this is gonna be great. This is going to come right off screen and fillet me in front of everyone. And then it's like, oh, it's just a movie. Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah, it was funny because when I went to that screening I forgot what it was. I went to some screening. Before I sat down, he pulled me aside. That's where you were coming to get us to sit down?
The Ruins.
The Ruins, yeah. He pulled me aside. He's like, Carlisle and Cyrus? That fucked up, man. That movie sucked. Sarah Marshall? That movie's bullshit. So I'm curious. I'm really curious now. Okay, he didn't put in those mean words.
No. But
I do this for dramatic effect.
No,
but
you know what? No, I know he used those words, but I know Leon, so I hear how he's like, man, that was some bullshit.
But he did say that. He's like, man, that movie's some bullshit.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that we're, I have no clue.
So I'm curious to see this movie because of you guys now. The conflict.
Except that we're nowhere near alone. The buzz on this thing is really, really big.
Man, everybody who has come out has liked the movie that I've talked to, and that's been about 2 people, you and Cyrus, and Cole. Cole came out, and Cole has that thing where we know this guy who goes to the movies, and he's, what, 20 now?
The important thing is that he's gigantor.
Yeah,
he's like this 8'7" mammoth of a guy who just hulks around.
Yeah, but he's young. He's 20. I think he's barely 20 now. Mm-hmm. And if you sit by him in the theater, there will be one scene in the movie that will either make him laugh or make him roll his eyes. But whatever that scene is, he will look at you, and I'm not lying, people. With these big Hulk hands, he will beat you in the chest like, ain't that funny? Ain't that funny? You still having a corner like, okay, that's you, go, stop, I'm dying. And that's what he did to Martin.
I went and saw porn with him. He did something else. So.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got the hands for it.
That's right.
And he got the head for it too. So 21 got way off track with that, but 21. You're right. We talked about
we
it.
got off track and a couple of cold ones. What the fuck is going on tonight?
This is crazy.
So let's get into the stuff that people care about. This week's movies. Number 2.
Street Kings, a movie. Now, seriously, that movie got pushed at the last minute, and somehow got really strong push and came in at number 2.
Yeah, but it came in with a really unimpressive number 2. I mean, it came in with
the
box office.
numbers.
First of all, the box office sucks this week. It made $12 million. Now, you're telling me a Keanu Reeves, Forrest Whitaker movie with a background cast like this had only pulled in $12 million its opening weekend. That's it. Fucking embarrassing.
No, it's and damn, it was in 2,400 theaters too. So yeah, it didn't do great. But for a last minute push, to come in at number 2, I guess that's okay because they really did not push this movie. And
I heard that it was all over TV. I never saw anything, but
I finally saw it on TV. But like I said, about a month before the movie came out, I remember walking in the subway and looking at it on the wall, and I see this movie, Street Kings, and I'm thinking, oh, this is some straight to DVD shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, is that Forrest Whitaker? That's Keanu Reeves. Wait a minute, that's Hugh Laurie. What the fuck are they doing this straight to DVD movie? And then I see coming to theaters, April's on. So I'm like, damn, okay, whatever. Anyway, maybe do better on DVD.
Every April, there's one of those that just comes out of the woodwork. It reminds this movie. It's what I call the basic slot because this is a slot they put basic in several years ago, where it was like, how does a movie with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson not get released in the summer? Well, it comes out, because they don't believe in it, and they dump it in April.
Well, I think this surely got dumped, and I think. This is what I'm figuring here. Even though it made $12 million, which you're right, is very low, not impressive at all. I think that people are scratching their heads saying, damn, we didn't expect it to make that much money.
I don't know. No, I think the thing is it's going to do even better on DVD.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
This movie's going to make its money because it's aimed at the right audience and it does just the right things.
As a matter of fact, there was a movie with Christian Bale that was directed by the same guy, David Avery. It was Harsh Times. That movie came out for about a week and was gone. But on DVD, got a real heavy push from Blockbuster, and I think it did really well on DVD. I'm not sure, but it was everywhere on DVD. And I watched it, and it's a crazy movie, not all that great, but I can see why I didn't do that well. Should have went straight to DVD in the first place. Probably like Street Kings. Street Kings were a little bit better, though, because you liked it a lot.
We all did.
Yeah.
We all had fun with it.
It was
we
goofy,
did. Stupid fun.
No, it really, for a movie that was...
And saying like it, I like it in the sense that it was a good, fun time. It's not a good movie, and I wouldn't say this is an excellent film, because we've got some people out there going, how could you say this is good? And it's like, because I'm saying it's fun, not good.
Man, it's like I said, it's a man's movie.
It is a man's movie. Dude, this thing is going to kill on TBS in about 5 years. This motherfucker's going to be back-to-back with a Beastmaster every week.
Yeah, no, it's one of those movies, like I said, if I'd seen it on HBO, I would have been like, man, I saw this crazy movie last night, but it was badass, though. So let's go ahead to number 1. And this now
I know why. This makes total sense. It's not like, how could this happen? But this is the state of where we are right now. There's nothing out there for teenagers. So they make a PG-13 movie that would have been 10 years ago. This would have been a sequel. This would have been Prom Night 4 or Prom Night 5. I forget where they stopped the prom nights. Except they own the property. They said, let's just remake Prom Night. But we're not going to actually remake Prom Night. We're just going to call it Prom Night. It's going to happen on prom night.
At a prom.
And there will be a serial killer.
And you motherfucking kids out there, boy, you will watch anything, won't you? I mean, y'all don't know what a slasher movie is. Y'all need to go back and watch some of the Friday 13th movies. I mean, none of these are good movies, but you go watch this movie. It's
Dude,
PG-13 for a reason.
You say you don't know, they don't know what slasher movies are, dude. You go back to our day. We had so many of these too.
Oh,
we had
man.
these sad attempts.
Oh,
That were no good.
Oh no, we had those, but
right now everybody bitches about the whole remake thing going on. When we were your age, the crazy thing was they were trying to find different ways to tell the exact same story. It was, they had already mined Prom Night and they had mined Halloween and they got all the major holidays, and then we started getting movies about the weird ass holidays, April Fool's Day and Happy Birthday.
But let me tell you something though, this movie, it is so tame. I've seen episodes of Dexter, CSI, Miami. I've seen worse episodes of ER. This movie has no fucking blood. They don't say the word fuck in there at all. There's no nudity. This could have been shown on the Lifetime channel because they have a bunch of whining bitches in there. And
God bless them, though, because, dude,
they put PG-13 on this, and it's not even a PG-13. It really is not.
Well, I'm sure there's talk of sex in there. I'm sure there's talk of once you mention
all of it
sex,
is talk.
Yeah, but that's the thing is once you mention sex, it loses its PG.
Yeah, no, and that's how they fool people.
Well, I don't know if it's fool people. I mean, the fact is they said, look, it's a movie about prom night. We'll bring in the teenage audiences because they're the ones who are going to want to see it anyway. It's a horror movie about their event. Let's make a teen film. But still, it's kind of like, really? That's what you guys are going to make number one?
Everybody in this movie that's killed dies from a scratch. The killer will come in, you see the knife go down and slash in motion. You see blood splatter on the wall. Then it cut to the body. The body got a mosquito bite on it. I'm not shitting you, man. And I'm thinking to myself, God damn, Indiana Jones, they can show a guy pulling a heart out of somebody's chest and still make that PG-13. And in this shit, I got to see a paper cut.
Dude, you've got to keep in mind, first of all, that's the 80s. And second of all, that's one of the movies that caused the PG-13 rating. That and Gremlins, people said, wait a second, we can't let kids see these movies. But they don't quite meet the rated R standards, so we had to make PG-13.
But come on, man. We've seen movies that are PG-13, and they've been hard PG-13s with some blood, even had some guts in it.
Keep in mind that we are in a period of time where everybody thinks everything's getting worse, and when it comes to the rating system, everything is getting much more conservative. We are getting more, the rules are getting tighter and tighter on what you can get away with. It is no longer, PG-13 is the PG, is less than the PG we grew up with. We could have full frontal and gore to a certain extent in PG because PG fucking meant parental guidance.
No, we could never have any full frontal in a PG-13 movie. What
in
movie?
A PG movie and in PG-13, hell yes.
Give me an example.
Let's see.
Full frontal.
Full frontal. Target had a full frontal in 1987. I know for a fact that Kramer versus Kramer rated PG 1980 has full frontal. In fact, has a couple full frontals.
Are we talking about In the Shadows? Or?
No, we're talking about full frontal because it was just nudity. As long as it was nudity and not sex, it wasn't a big deal. If a woman was standing in the shower and you see her butt ass naked and she pulls the shower curtain over her, that was fine because it wasn't sexualized nudity.
Now, I know in Airplane they had a scene where a woman came out real quick and was topless. I'm talking about pubic hair.
Yeah, so am I. You could do that in PG-13 and before then in PG as long as it was non-sexualized nudity.
Okay.
I'm not talking about an ass shot. I'm not talking about a little nipple slip. I'm talking about you could get away with that as long as it wasn't sexualized. That was the big thing in the 80s. Now, nudity is nudity.
In the name of research, I'm going to rent Kramer vs. Kramer tomorrow on Target, and I'm going to watch it twice.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 3 times.
You'll be, wow.
But no, man.
This isn't as hot as I thought it would be.
Seriously,
I'm an adult. I should be running porn.
Yeah. No, with Prom Night, I mean, they knew what they were doing. From a business angle, from a business angle, it made sense. It was PG-13. It was about teenagers. You're right. They knew they could get that crowd in there and make more money instead of making it rated R. I respect that, but I'm just saying you could have pushed it just a tad bit more. I mean, not only that, but this movie, doesn't even try. They should have made a generic poster and put Prom Night Killer on it, or even just Killer Movie, because this could have been any fucking film out there.
But this is what they've been marketing. They come out with one or two of these a year. The one that this reminded me of, what was that film from a few years ago, When a Stranger Calls? This is this year's When a Stranger Calls. It's that I don't give a shit movie. Teens will watch anything, so we'll make a crappy PG-13 sanitized scary film for 14-year-old girls to scare the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Because, 14-year-old boys need hand jobs too, so they need a film that they can take the girls
Well, that's
to.
what I'm saying. That's the only way I'll excuse this movie. If you about 14, 15 years old and your mom dropped you off and you met a date there that you weren't supposed to see, you went there and made out, maybe felt a little breast or something, this movie served its purpose. And if you could tell me a story about that, I shouldn't encourage some kids.
Yeah, see, you just crossed the line. I was making a joke.
I'm not saying don't.
And you just took it to a whole new level.
Okay.
Like, if you can send me stories about fondling a 15-year-old titty, then I will forgive you for your transgression.
I don't want to do that. I'm totally kidding. But if you
Come
at least
talk to your Uncle Corey,
look, exactly.
kiddies.
If you at least went there and made out a little bit and you held hands and whatnot, then
You've
good
gone
for you.
too late. It's too far now. You've lost it.
No, I don't want to hear the stories, but good luck to you if you did.
You do. You so do.
Yeah, good. Maybe if you see me hanging out and you want to come and tell your Uncle Corey about it in secret, then that's fine. I won't tell anybody.
Sit on Uncle Corey's lap,
No, we ain't
children,
doing
and
that.
tell him about the time you felt underage titty.
Welcome, Chirin. Well, that is the top 5, and it is disappointing, but I guess not as disappointing for me because I knew the moment I saw that PG-13 rating on Prom Night. I'm like, it's going to be number 1. So.
Yeah, no.
How much did it make? 'Cause
it made like $21 million.
$20 million.
It made almost twice what Street Kings made. It was
Wow,
not.
that's
It was
bad,
not
man.
a sneaking by. It was a little whomping. But the problem is that the box office is really down from last year as well.
Shit, it made almost $23 million, man. I'm looking at it right here. That's not bad.
No, it did well, and it's going to vanish because everyone went, oh man, that's a crappy movie, and then no one else is going to go see it.
No.
Because next week it's all about going to see or sneaking into Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I really am curious to know how that movie's going to go. I guess I've seen a shitload of advertising for it by now. So, and are they having another sneak for that?
Yeah, we got another one on Thursday, I believe.
Okay, I'll be out of town. Maybe I can watch it there and do a phone review with you guys or something.
No, we already did a review. You just need to post that review. That review's we recorded that review like a month ago.
No, because Leon wants to do the review.
Yeah, but still, we've had that review. I mean,
and that review wasn't done in the. We did it in the tone of we're doing this early. If you go back and listen to it, which I did. No, I never went up. I listened to it though, and it's in the tone of we're doing this right now. We're gonna have another review, so we have to record it again either way. So I was hoping that maybe I could get to see it, but I might just do it with you guys and watch y'all fight it out.
That's one of the things is you'll record those. And then you guys will see the film later, and you'll have to record it. But then, we'll do something like The Ruins, where we'll all see it, and you'll be, no, I'm just going to record it with co-host. And it doesn't matter what we think.
No, I didn't say it didn't matter what you think. The Ruins came out on a Thursday night, and I had to get it done quick. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to exclude you guys if I don't ever have to. If I'm doing it for a reason. I mean, Thursday night is a rush job, so. Well,
yeah, but you could have had this review up weeks ago.
I mean, shit, man. I have so many things to do. If it's something, the only time it is urgent for me, if I have a lot of stuff to do, is if it's on that week. And I even talked to some of the guys at the company about that. They're like, we heard that you have a review for Sarah Marshall. How come it's not up yet? And I'm like, because I'm fucking busy, man. That's why. I'm up here drawing shit and drawing stuff on the side now and getting reviews up all weekend long. I mean, I'm sorry, but Sarah Marshall doesn't have a priority right now. So. This week it will. What?
Nothing.
No, go ahead.
Nothing. No, nothing.
Okay. You just going to stare at me right now?
I'll just wait for you to finish talking, and then we'll move up.
All right. Well, do you have anything you want to talk about this week? Anything?
No, nothing really came up. It wasn't a very interesting. Oh, wait, you know what? I do.
What?
I do have something I want to talk about. Uwe Boll.
I knew you'd see. I was going to
This is, you know what, that did come up. I was going to do a webcam about it, but ended up not happening. But look, let me tell you kids about Uwe Boll.
And tell them who. For anybody who doesn't know, tell them who.
For anyone who doesn't know,
is.
I mean, if you don't know, then fast forward to this section because this is unimportant to you. Uwe Boll means nothing. No, there was a big thing. Uwe Boll is a guy who, for the longest time, was the worst director in the world until Aaron Seltzer and Jason Friedman showed up. And he was the very worst in the world. And he was the arch nemesis, the wrestling heel of the critical world. We have spent so much ink on this guy. Just wasted all this ink on this douchebag. And his movies have proven to be profitable because we made him so notorious that everyone had to see his fucking movies. You had to watch him. It's like, oh man, Uwe Boll's new movie.
Yeah, some of his movies include. His latest one is Postal.
Postal comes out soon. I don't really want to pimp that, but he did In the Name of the King. He did House of the Dead. He did Alone in the Dark. He did Blood Rain. He does all these movies that are adaptations of video games.
Yeah.
And he's awful. He's tremendously awful.
See, I've never seen any of his movies. I haven't seen one, so I really can't say anything.
You know what? And there's really no need because it's not that they're just fucking piss poor. They're boring as shit. They're just awful.
He's a German director, and I heard that he had some kind of deal with the German government.
Well, no.
What it is? Take something from their art fund or something.
For the longest time, there were big, huge German financing loopholes in the tax code that they were there to encourage. Making German films and supporting German directors worldwide. So if industry people, paid money into independent, productions and put money into these films, and they were helmed by a German or shot in Germany or whatever, they would get tax write-offs for them. Well, Uwe was churning out these crappy fucking films that would lose money that all these people could write enormous write-offs for.
Yeah, no, it's funny hearing about this guy because like I said, I'm not going to judge because I haven't seen anything because I know co-host saw Postal and he loved it. He thought it was a lot of fun.
When did he see Postal?
Like he sees everything, but he saw it.
See, me and Cyrus have seen it.
Yeah, no, well,
there's no reason to talk about it. It's just
co-host loved it. I don't know what to say.
It was better than Meet the Spartans. But not by much.
And Postal is a video game where you actually play someone who goes postal and go off on a shooting rampage.
Yeah, and it was just a lame movie. It's not even worth your time. It's just bad, but it's not as bad as Meet the Spartans. So what happened was all of a sudden everybody's talking about when they talk about the worst director in the world, they're not talking about Uwe anymore. Uwe's old news. He's just this sad, pathetic guy.
So who are they talking about now?
They're talking about Aaron Seltzer and Jason Friedberg. Yeah, when people mention the worst movie they can think of, the first thing that comes to mind is Meet the Spartans.
Yeah,
it's definitely not. They don't think of Blood Rain anymore. Blood Rain was years ago.
I think also there's the case of Meet the Spartans got a much bigger release than any Uwe Boll movie at all.
And more people saw it then.
Yeah, exactly.
And so more people know
none
how
of
bad
Uwe Boll's movies went #1 like Meet the Spartans did.
They never even cracked the top 5.
No, they're very small movies.
They all fail, except that they make money because everyone has to go and see them. Everyone who are film buffs.
Well, then they're not failing then, right? They make money, so they're not failing.
Except that they fail in the sense that they never do well.
I'm assuming you're talking about Uwe Boll because of that video that went up online.
That video that went up on the site that we pushed, and there's a whole I Hate Uwe Boll site. Guys, seriously, right now, whoever created that, take it away. Delete the whole group. Everybody resign from the group. I don't want you guys. Here is how this works. You guys got hoodwinked. You guys got sucked in by the genius that is Uwe Boll. He is a genius, okay?
So wait a minute. Let's describe the video. So
the video's on there.
If you look at the video, he's proclaiming that he says, "All you guys who hate me," because there's a petition going around to stop him from making movies.
Now hold on.
But
hold on.
Maybe that's not a petition. Maybe he's saying that there is a petition.
Well,
but either way it goes,
there is a petition.
Yeah,
there is a petition to have him stop making movies, and if he gets 1 million signatures on the petition, he'll quit making movies. Now, he put out a video talking about how there was a petition out there and how he wanted a petition to have people say he wanted to keep him making movies, and that somebody should put that up there and should put that out because you know what? He's a genius. He is a misunderstood genius. He is far better than Michael Bay or Eli Roth.
Oh no, I love the way he came in. He's like, you watch these fucking Michael Bay, Eli Roth, George Clooney political shit. I'm the true genius.
Corey. Every time you do a foreign accent, you start channeling Last King of Scotland.
Well, that was not the Last King of Scotland.
That was
First of all, I cannot do any accents at all. I'm not trying to, but that was more like a really bad French accent. So.
See, I have actually met and gotten screamed at by Uwe.
No, I've heard the story.
I understand Uwe. Now, here's the thing. Is he did this whole thing. He said, I am better than that Eli Roth. I am better than that fucking Michael Bay.
You talk about my accent. You sound like a Mexican.
Yeah, no, you got me all messed up. I can't even do my Uwe tonight. Wow. So anyhow,
Viva la Uwe!
Viva la Uwe! Anyhow, actually, it would be pronounced Uwe down there. Except,
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyhow, point is, he did this video, and it got circulated, and everybody fucking watched it, and everyone started screaming about it and said, look how crazy this guy is. This guy is the worst guy, the lamest guy in the world. Holy shit. And now everybody's talking about him again.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, I can't blame him.
This is one of the saddest, most pathetic ploys he's tried. Because the thing is, look, he makes shitty, crappy movies. He's no longer the worst director in the world because you know what? If you look at his films, they have more style than anything that you've seen out of
I doubt if any of his movies are worse than Meet the Spartans.
They aren't. I've watched them all. They're awful, but Meet the Spartans is one of the worst goddamn things I've ever laid my eyes on. I mean, it was just because at least Uwe seems to be trying to tell a story, and they weren't even interested in that. Those guys are the world's biggest hacks right now.
Well, let me just say this. I'm not going to hate on the guy. I mean, yeah, I've never seen any of his movies. If he's smart enough to get people to buy into his little joke, then more power to him. Because I tell you what, I saw that video. I knew it was a joke from the very beginning. I even left a message for someone saying, don't take this seriously, but I got a good laugh out of it.
No. I thought it was hilarious. In fact, the first time I saw it was in Eli Roth's blog, who felt it was the single greatest shout-out he'd ever gotten in his entire life. Because here's Uwe Boll calling him, a shitty director making the same bad, terrible fucking movie over and over again.
Yeah, and I'm sure he has respect for those guys. I'm sure he doesn't think they're shitty. I'm sure he thought that if I just dropped their names,
I wouldn't say that. That's fucking.
I'm sure he just dropped their names because he knew it would get them attention. Hey, the guy.
No, he dropped those two names in particular because those two names are very successful guys who are also hated by the internet. He is a master of media manipulation. He knows how to get you guys riled up. I know because he got us riled up in the beginning. When he first realized he was the heel of the internet, he started playing it up. The guy, Quint from Ain't It Cool News, who first started tagging him hard and made him a household name, he mentioned him in every single interview he ever did. Well, every time someone would ask him about the negativity on the net, he would call Quint out hardcore because he knew that by doing that, it fueled the fire.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
And that's all. The point is, that whole thing, it's all a matter to get you guys to blog and talk about him because nobody else is. Because we've seen Postal, and Postal isn't worth mentioning. It's bad, but it's not bad. It's just a waste of your fucking time. It made me laugh. There's one good joke in the fucking movie. There's one joke that made me laugh, and when I retell it to other people, they laugh. But you know what? Aside from that joke, there's no real reason to see this fucking movie.
Hey, and, well, just focusing on him, if people fall for it and he can get people riled up like that, but more power to him. He's a good businessman.
You say that, except it is our job as the interpreters of the medium to say, hold on now, Sparky, and take a closer look at what he's doing.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I'm not, like I said, I'm leaving it up to you to review the movie. I'm just talking about what he did in general.
What he did
as an internet
was
gag,
funny.
I think was funny, and I kind of admire that.
Sure. And you know what? The thing is the petition was his idea.
I bet it
and
was.
nobody was paying attention to the petition.
And if you watch the
video,
it's so funny because he's dead serious in the video. I mean, I'm sure he's acting.
Dude, that's how he is in person. He screamed at me for 10 solid minutes because I wasn't going to review his film.
No, I heard that he didn't scream at you. I heard that he came over and he talked to you.
Oh, that's bullshit. Who told you that?
I'll tell you later, but somebody was standing there, and they said they watched it, and they said he didn't scream.
Dude, he was screaming the whole fucking time. He was swearing like a fucking sailor. I was laughing at it. Because at first he started talking to me. He didn't march up to me and start screaming. Oh, I see you right for there. Oh, so are you going to review my film? Oh, no, I'm not. Well, why not?
That's a French accent right there.
No, this is how Uwe speaks when you listen to the
Was
Uwe.
he wearing a beret?
No.
Oh, oui.
No, that is weird. That is now you're talking like the French and the French talking like this. No, but he went off, and he's that Sozo. He is a motherfucker. He said personal things about me, and your boss. He is a son of a bitch. He is spineless, and he is bought by Hollywood, and that's why he will not talk about my fucking movies. And no, he was yelling. I don't care what the fuck somebody said to you. I had this guy poking me in the chest and yelling at me for 10 solid minutes.
I admire his passion. That's the guy.
You're just trying to play devil's advocate.
That's the guy who believes in what he does.
Yeah, what he does is he makes terrible movies.
Filmmaking's all about.
He knows he makes terrible movies. He doesn't give a shit about the quality of the movie, and because he's too busy lining up the money. He would be a great producer. The guy knows how to get money he can wring blood from a stone. The guy is talented. He's not this unintelligent, mass of protoplasm. The guy is smart. He knows what he's doing. He just has far too big an ego about himself and has to be in control of every last detail, even when he is not talented at doing so.
Oh, well, hey.
Which is probably why you're defending.
So let's see now. I'm going to move on to the blogs here because they brought up some good stuff here.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And they posted something that I'm looking forward to, but I don't know if it really fits within what they're going to be releasing later. And that is the Batman Gotham Knight DVD that they're going to be releasing, I think, in July. Is it July, maybe June?
Oh, it's before the release. It's before the release of the movie, and it's done up animatrix style. There are 6 short animated films. I saw that this is on if you've watched the New Frontier disc, it's one of the special features on that. I saw this months ago. And
it's been floating around.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, no, for those of you, okay, so we all know Batman, The Dark Knight is coming out. So as a companion to that, they have this DVD release of animated shorts. And for those of you who remember the Matrix, before the second Matrix came out, they did the Animatrix.
The Animatrix.
And this is a similar business model here. They're doing the same thing, and it looks cool. And, I mean, it looks absolutely badass. Go to the site, watch the videos, or just look for the videos online somewhere and watch the trailer for it. It looks awesome. They even have a featurette that was going around months ago that really explains a lot about it, and that's as interesting, too. But when I watched this, I think you kind of have to watch this alone, because with what they're doing with Batman, the movies, is that they're trying to place it within a realistic world. And at least that's what I heard. I heard that they were trying to do with the Joker, and that's what they did with the last movie. Now, if you watch this DVD, at least from what you can get from the trailer, it's almost a futuristic Gotham. He's fighting people like Killer Croc, which is a man who's half alligator, half man.
What they did is they took 6 different directors who direct animated and films and anime, and they let them go nuts, and they gave them general, guidelines, and let them make their Batman stories. And in each one, the Batman is very different. The villains are very different.
Yeah,
it's not really a bridge as much as it's hey, isn't Batman awesome?
But
right
that's what they're trying to pitch
out.
it as. They're saying his road to becoming the Dark Knight is he fought the alligator man, and so I think he's fighting Clayface, and so it's kind of taking you out of that world that they've created in the movies. But if you can just watch it by itself, I mean, I can't wait for this DVD to come out.
Dude, once I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm going to see this as soon as humanly fucking possible.
Oh, yeah. No, I was looking at this.
I hope to God that is on the list when because Warner Brothers has been very nice to me, and I hope to God that when that comes out, that's on the list, and I can get that early and review it and hopefully get some copies for a contest. So.
Oh, that'd be nice. Can I enter the contest?
No.
I'm going to break it to your house and steal that shit, man. So, what is Warner Brothers sending you sending you.
Yeah. In fact, I was going to bring that up. There's a movie I watched this weekend that they sent me. I'm writing it up for another site, but it's worth a mention here.
Well, you better send those DVDs out. That Appleseed stuff you got. You better send that shit out, man. I was hanging out with Spicy Donut the other night.
I've been meaning to hook up with Spicy Donuts. I apologize to the three people. There was a snafu. They didn't send them to me on time, and then when they came in, I'm in the middle of buying a house right now. We don't talk too much about our personal stuff, but this week I signed on the dotted line, and I own a house, and so I've been dealing with all that, and so everything's been in disarray, and that stuff got all set aside on a desk that has been sorely neglected for a few weeks.
By the way, house means double wide trailer for him. He's moving from a single wide.
Yeah, says the guy living in the ghetto condo across the street from a high school. He's gonna diss on where I'm living.
Ain't nothing
You haven't
ghetto.
seen my house yet?
I ain't nothing ghetto about this, and you act like you're the Beverly Hillbillies. You getting ready to move into a mansion, 3 pools and shit.
No.
Are you?
I didn't.
Because if you are, I'm gonna be at your house every day.
No, but the house is pretty pimp. I'm
Is it
really
nice?
happy with the.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the house.
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah, but so I've been dealing with that, and so I was supposed to do a lot more of these, but something got screwed up, and I'm not getting the contest things that I'm ordering. So I've got to, once I get a second, I need to talk to my contact and say, hey, what's up?
I was sitting down with Spicy Donut, and we were eating. He did that whole thing where it's kind of, I'm joking, kind of the passive aggressive statements. He's saying, man, is Carl, is he ripping me off, man? Because I really want my DVD. And then he was kind of like, after he was like, no, I'm just playing, man. But really, is he going to get my DVD?
Spicy, email me, and we'll go out for coffee or a beer, and I'll bring it with me because he lives in town.
He wants that DVD.
Well, he can have it as soon as it's just been. I've really been busy with the house. It's the whole thing. So.
He said he's broke. He can't buy shit. He needs anything he can get free. He needs.
It's sitting here. I've got the DVD sitting right here. I haven't even been able to check out my copy. They sent me the special edition copy, and I haven't even been able to watch that yet.
Shit, I had to buy him his food when we were hanging out. He's so broke. I think he hooked up with me just to ask you if he can get his DVD.
Yep. Probably.
I didn't buy his food, by the way. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's a real nice guy, man. He just called and he asked me, he's like, hey, let's go get some beers. And I was like, okay, because he does live in the same town we do. Yeah. And we got there. We were having a good time, and then once he got a little sauce in him, started drinking a little bit. He's like, man, where's my fucking DVD, man?
Yeah, no. In fact, it's funny that you mention this because I was watching this movie that I'm about to talk about, and you drunk dial me at 1:30 in the morning, and you're like, hey, man, how you doing? Hey, what's up, Corey? Oh, I'm just sitting here with Spicy Donut. He wants to know where the fuck his DVD is. It's sitting right here. I just need to.
I wasn't drunk yet.
No, you were.
I wasn't.
You may not have been hammered, but you were.
No,
dude, I have known you for how long? I know when you've been drinking, when you haven't.
I'm telling you, I was not drunk. We were sitting there talking. And he brought up your name. And I was like, you know what? I got his number. I should just call him right now since I'm sitting with you because I'm not going to remember later. And we called just a joker. Man, let me tell you, if I was drunk, I wouldn't have been able to you wouldn't have been able to get me off the phone that easy.
Dude, I'm not saying that you were like hammered.
I wasn't even drunk. I was not drunk.
Okay.
I mean, if I would
have. Okay, fine. You weren't drunk. You didn't sound drunk at all. None of that actually happened.
If I had called you drunk, I even just slightly tipsy, but hey, Carlisle, what you doing, man? I love you, you're doing a really good job with all this shit. I just wanted to let you know. We're like brothers, man,
Point is, you call up. I'm in the middle of watching My Boy Jack.
What the fuck is that? My Boy Jack?
Yeah.
What the hell is
right.
that? What kind of porno is that shit?
It's not a porno. It's a film put out by the BBC. It's coming out on DVD.
Hell, some fancy shit. Look at you. I was sitting there watching My Boy Jack, and how dare you interrupt me?
And
you didn't have to pick up the phone.
Now, well, no, of course, the phone rings at 1:30 in the morning, and someone's either dead or drunk. So you got to find out what it is. It was not like you called me at 9:30 at night and like, hi, this is Corey Coleman, and I am totally sober at this point. It was 1:30 in the goddamn morning. You had been drinking, and I was watching a movie.
How late do you stay up?
I go to bed at like 7 in the morning.
Exactly. That's why I call.
That's right.
It ain't like I drunk called you. You're like, I'm tired.
You're like, you don't have to answer the phone. When the phone rings at 1:30, something's going on. You answer the fucking phone.
Next time I'll come to your house. Hey, motherfucker.
I don't mind that you called. I'm just, you're acting like, why did you pick up the phone? Because when the phone rings at 1:30 in the morning, you answer it. It's not like it's 4 in the afternoon and it could be, this is the second notice that the warranty on your car has expired.
I just wanted to say hello, man.
Well, that's cool.
I was missing you.
Dude, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just saying. But I was watching My Boy Jack. Now, what is My Boy Jack? Now,
Some
those
gay
of our
porno?
British fans probably already know what it is. No, it's not a porno, dude.
What is it? I'm just goating you to tell
It's
me
a
what it is. What is
historical
it?
drama.
Boring.
Yes. It's actually a good historical drama. It's about Rudyard Kipling and his push to go into World War I.
Jungle Book, Rudyard Kipling?
That's right. He sent his son, Jack, off to fight in World War I. And he was a big proponent, big conservative, pro-war. We got to march in and fight the Hun army, fight the Germans now. And I so believe in this that I send my eldest son, Jack, played by Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Exactly. This is where it suddenly gets interesting. It's like, oh, because this is one of those movies where he departs from the Harry Potter role. He's really good in it. And he plays this young 17, 18-year-old boy who goes to war. And in order to impress his dad and to be, to have the kind of stories that his dad has, he, despite the fact that he's got myopia, he's got terrible eyesight, he shouldn't be going to war, they pull a lot of strings and get him into it. And it's about all the stuff that happens.
Unless that son of a bitch flies in the war on a broomstick, I don't want to see that shit.
Well, that's because you don't like good movies.
No,
so,
not that kind. No, that's just a historical
however,
drama with
if you
Harry
do
Potter.
enjoy... If you do enjoy a good historical drama and you do like Daniel Radcliffe and perhaps you would like to see a solid, entertaining film, I definitely give it. I would have given it. I would have given it probably in the matinee range.
Really? So it's a movie. You can rent this.
You'll be able to rent it here very shortly. It comes out either this week or next, and it's very good.
Okay. It's funny you should bring up Daniel Radcliffe because I was going to bring this up. J.K. Rowling is actually kind of pissed off about something. She's suing somebody.
She's back in the news again.
Yeah, she's suing.
Dude, she is so on the road to being George Lucas 2.0.
Man,
oh my God!
Hey, well, it's not because she's out making another book or she's doing another lame movie or anything. She's somebody wants to release a book called The Harry Potter Lexington. Is that what it's called? Yeah, and it's sort of an encyclopedia of Harry Potter facts.
Yes.
And it was okay when it was a website. She was cool with it when it was a website. In fact, she admitted, she's like, "Oh, I'm such a fan of this. I go to this all the time to find out my information." But once it was bought up by a publisher and they want to sell it for $24.95, she says, "Oh hell no! If I ain't getting a cut of this,
all right,
you ain't doing shit with it."
And you know what? George Lucas 2.0. This goes right back to what I was just saying. This has, since 1980, there have been books about Star Wars in various ways, shape, or form that Lucasfilm had nothing to do with because it's a fan writing about, the information that's out there. And it's not that they're not infringing on copyright because they're not using Harry Potter as it is a book about the phenomenon.
Yeah.
And you cannot trademark the phenomenon.
Well, now that was going to be my point. From reading this article about this, I don't know what's going on in this court case. They're going to have it happening in Manhattan in the next week or so. But I don't understand why you wouldn't want to have this released when it helps your cause. It helps your business. It helps your mythology.
Because she doesn't need it. It's not something.
She doesn't need it. No, she doesn't need it. But I don't think that I don't know how much is infringing on her copyright if it's just basic information.
Well, that's what the question.
Other than she just wants some money.
Now, that's the same thing with Lucas. Lucas has there's another whole lawsuit going on right now in that same vein over in Britain, because a California court found for Lucas in a certain case, and now they're trying to enforce.
Now,
that.
Does George Lucas do this shit too? Does he say?
No.
He lets you do parodies and he lets you release fan films as long as you're not getting paid for it. Right?
Because you can't. The thing is they can't regulate that. Mm-hmm. Because it falls under parody law, and parody law protects people.
But you can't sell it then, right? I mean,
you can even sell it. The thing is, you can't sell it you cannot sell things under the Star Wars brand name, and there's certain things that you can and can't get away with when you sell.
Well, if you have a picture of a stormtrooper, isn't that the brand name right there?
Well, that's where it becomes. It depends on how you use it. When you use it as an informational thing, that's one thing, because Star Wars isn't nonfiction. Writing nonfiction about a phenomenon and about something that has captured, people's attention.
See, I'm watching a Family Guy Star Wars special, and the only reason why I'm thinking that George Lucas doesn't send stormtroopers over there to blow people away is because he's cool with it.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Whether Lucas may have signed off on it and said, "Hey, that's awesome," But the fact is that falls under parody law. I mean, we could do a whole Star Wars segment, and we could make millions off of it, and yet it would not matter to Lucas. Couldn't do anything if we did it under parody.
But for what they're doing here, the Harry Potter lexicon, the Harry Potter lexicon, they can't do that because it's not a parody. They're actually taking information and organizing it as sort of the Harry Potter Bible.
But they're doing it as non-fiction. They're not doing it as fiction. They're not selling fiction. That's where the question comes, and that's where the court has to step in. But
there's some reason she feels like they stole her words.
The court has now, as long as they don't plagiarize, they're cool. If they steal passages from the book, then they have crossed the line. But when they're, in their own words, putting a nonfiction slant on, hey, here is an encyclopedia that has all the information you'll ever need. So when you're reading through a book, you're reading through the Harry Potter book, and you're like, it mentions so-and-so. Well, who the hell is so-and-so? Turn, and it will list all the basic information you need to know about so-and-so.
My problem with it, and like I said, I'm not clear on it. Like I said, she's such a big proponent of it when it was a website, but the moment they start to sell something, that's when she says they stole my words, and I'm just thinking like, I want my percentage of that $24.95.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what happened to Lucasfilm right now. They sued a guy and they won in California, and it's I'm torn on it, but there's part of me that's like, come on, dude, fuck off, because Lucasfilm goes too far sometimes. There's a guy. Back in the day, in 1976 and 77, this guy was a prop master who designed the helmets for the stormtroopers and helped design the stormtrooper suits. Now, granted, Lucasfilm came up with a concept and said, we want you to build this based upon these sketches, and he designed the stormtrooper suit. So what happens? This guy, for $2,000 over in Britain, this guy will make you an authentic stormtrooper outfit made from the original molds that he made for Star Wars.
George Lucas got a problem with that?
Yes, he does, because he doesn't like the fact that this guy is making money off of his stormtroopers.
Oh, look, you want my advice? Leave these people alone.
Well,
I'm saying leave George Lucas alone and leave J.K. Rowling alone, because you better leave that bitch alone. She's got billions of dollars. She got enough money to hire a real wizard to come over to your house and blow your ass up. I wouldn't fuck with her. I just say,
and okay. I gotta say, this guy was a prop master who created an iconic thing, and he's making money $2,000 a pop. We're not talking about he's raking in millions of dollars that Lucasfilm isn't getting. He's going, and every time somebody places an order, he recasts a new stormtrooper suit. And how cool is that? The idea of not just, these Star Wars dorks who love Star Wars, who have complete perfect outfits. When these guys order a stormtrooper outfit that's not only perfect, but made from the exact same mold that made the ones that he's watching in the movie, that's something special, that's something cool, and it's really awesome that this guy kept the molds and is still able to do
First of all, you don't need no stormtrooper outfit. What the fuck you gonna do with that?
Wear it to a convention and be able to tell your buddies, dude, this is a,
If you're a grown man wearing a stormtrooper outfit to a convention, your ass needs to be.
Oh, shut the fuck
anyway,
up,
you don't need. I am looking
around the Spill studio right now. How many Gumbies am I looking? I see 3 Gumbies. I
ain't going to no
4 Gumbies, 6 Snoopies.
I'm not at a convention dressed up like Gumby.
A lunchbox with fucking Snoopy.
I'm not at a convention dressed up in that shit.
I don't give a rat's ass, because conventions aren't your thing, motherfucker. Your thing is to sit here with fucking Snoopy. So don't be at the guy who dresses up as a fucking stormtrooper.
Take that shit off. Go to a bar. Meet yourself a woman. Try to get some sex. And live like a grown man. You don't need no goddamn
listen to Corey Coleman Guide to Life.
Exactly. Yeah, listen to me. I'm telling you, I ain't never dressed up in that shit. And my life is grand.
Well, neither have I, but I don't look down on the guys that do. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I've got my own. I sit around and paint motherfucking miniatures and dragons. Who the fuck am I to fucking come down on some
You ain't
dude
going to a
stormtrooper
convention dressed
outfit?
like a dragon, no.
No, because that's not my thing.
And it shouldn't be your thing. If you were older than 17 and you dressed up in a stormtrooper outfit, your life is headed towards.
All right, folks. This is. Keep in mind that this is Corey Coleman speaking to you about this. He is the intolerant son of a bitch that has no soul. He's sitting here with his little Snoopies and his little Gumbies, and he's making fun of you.
I have no soul because I'm talking about that dipshit that's dressed up like Chewbacca going to a fucking Star Wars convention.
Dude, that's his thing. He loves Chewie. God bless him for it, man. Why are you going to bust a guy's balls because he likes
Because I'm trying to help him. That's why.
Help him. Dude, you know what? One of these days you're going to go to one of these fucking conventions. You're going to stop joking about us with it. You're going to see the 27 girls who are hot as fucking hell dressed up as gold bikini Leia and realize that that girl is out there looking for some sex in the gold bikini outfit. You know what?
That's different. Girls can get away with a lot of shit.
Yeah, and you know what? A really great stormtrooper outfit will impress some of these.
And I tell you what, dress up in the gold bikini outfit. If you're a woman dressed up in a stormtrooper outfit, you fucked up too.
No, because you don't see a lot of women in those.
Exactly.
Because they dress up as
I need to see
Leia
some
and they
skin.
get laid.
That's because they dressed up as Leia. Now, if you want to dress up kind of like Han Solo, maybe, get yourself some clothes and that cool vest. You want to dress up like Lando Calrissian.
All right. Now, let me
I'll
ask
meet you halfway on that.
Well, let me Colt 45 aside. Let me see. I caught you drinking. That was awesome. No, all that aside, have you seen some of these guys that are big Star Wars dorks? You remember Star Wars Dave?
Yeah.
Don't you think his looks could be improved by wearing a stormtrooper outfit?
Man, don't bring me into this because I'm not. Star Wars Dave's a friend of mine. That guy's a talented musician. I'm not going to say anything about him.
And he would look great in a stormtrooper outfit. That's all I'm saying. He's a very nice guy who looked. I love that guy, but that guy is the epitome of the Star Wars dork. It's like before Return of the Sith came out, he's like, "Oh yes, I've listened to the Return of the Sith audiobook 6 times. The 24-hour audiobook he had listened to 6 times already."
But I'm kind of half joking. I really don't care if people dress up. I do find it kind of weird if you're a grown man. Yeah, I do. But I'm not talking bad about people that do it. Go do your thing. I don't think you're going to get some ass behind it, but if it does it for you, then by all means.
All I'm saying is this guy makes some really cool fucking outfits for $2,000 a pop. This guy clearly isn't selling, thousands of these off the rack. He's not making big money. He's making a living casting these things.
George Lucas told him, don't fuck with it, don't do it. That's all. George Lucas is he
says the guy owned by the man.
Exactly. I know the lesson. You don't fuck with the man. I've tried to fight it. You can't.
Yes,
George,
you can.
George Lucas can have that man killed and never find his ass.
I'm going to bend over and grease up for the man. Please saddle your big, large corporate cock into my ass.
I'm alive. George Lucas had had that man murdered. He could send Greedo to his house, have his ass shot, and they never see his ass again.
Greedo's dead, dude.
They send Greedo's cousin
He
there.
shot second. And he died.
They'll send anybody over there. Like I said, they'll send a homeless man that looks like Chewbacca over to his house. Have his ass murdered. You never see him again. Don't fuck with these people with billions of dollars. Just leave it alone.
All right, it's about time we move on to email. You have email for us?
I do have email.
Let's get email.
All right. First of all, I want to thank all the people from last week who thanked me for recommending Rec. I'm glad everyone got to see it. And that Rec is REC, the Spanish horror film that I told everybody to watch. Oh, here you go again. Here we go. Well, watching a bootleg on your computers. How dare you? A pox upon you all. No, go ahead, man.
No, what do I say? You're thanking everybody for illegally downloading a film. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, now we know it's not that black and white. It's not.
It is that.
No,
black
it's not that black
yes,
and white.
It is. No, it's not that black and white when you want to defend it, and because
no, and I will defend it.
It is so that
because in this
you're
particular
a cheap bastard.
No, cheap bastard. Nobody can find the fucking DVD to
There
buy.
are imports of this. You can import it.
No, you can't find this anywhere, man, and you can't find it with English subtitles on it. And furthermore, people want to watch the movie to promote it. And I guarantee half these people go out and watch this movie.
That's not why they want to watch it to promote it. They watch it because you promoted it, and now they're illegally downloading it. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to thank everybody for going out and illegally downloading it.
Everybody watches. They're saying that this is a great movie. They want to know.
From everything that
they
I've
want to
heard,
know
it's a great movie, and it's going to come out here.
Not everybody has a region-free DVD player. Not everybody knows how to do that.
It comes out this October, dude.
And so what? People want to see it now.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not. Hey, you want to know what? I'm not going to sit here in the middle of fucking April and wait till October to watch a movie that I know is online I can watch. It's sitting out there. And especially if I can't promote it as a good film. I'm not watching this because it's cheap. And you know something? I will go watch this at the theater when it comes out. And a lot of people have said that. And a lot of people want to buy this fucking DVD because it's so good. I mean, it's not like people are saying, I want something for cheap and free.
Yeah, that's exactly what people are saying.
No, that's not.
Piracy.
Look,
Yes.
so it's with piracy, it's not that black and white, man.
Yes,
no, it's not.
I want
because-
something for
no,
cheap or free.
No,
And
look,
if it just happens to be that one that's really good, I'll go out and pay for it.
You
But
have this
otherwise-
hard line, black and white, hard moral line about piracy, and it's never that simple. Is it stealing? I think it is. And what I think we're on the edge of is that we're on the edge of finding a new business model for movies, and people better wake up and find out what it's about. Because instead of trying to fight the people that download stuff,
the problem is that they're working on this model. And they've got the model ready to go, but the problem is they can't beat piracy. And because everybody has gotten so ingrained that piracy is okay, that these studios have held back on technology that is there. We could be paying to download our movies now.
And like I told you, I'm not going to look at a family in the face who only has the choice of watching one movie because they have 2 or 3 kids they're going to take to the theater. But you can afford to go. But you can sit up there and say, wow, you want to. But if it costs fucking $60 to take 2 kids and an adult to go see a movie with snacks included,
bullshit.
Look. Okay, let's go through the math. Let's go through the math.
Let's go through the math.
It could be potentially, and I tell you what, it's going to at least be 50. Because a movie in New York, as I said.
No,
listen.
First of all, New York is the single most expensive place in the country to do anything.
And
it costs $7 for a fucking Whopper in New York. It is not the place.
It does not cost $7 for a Whopper in New York.
About this, you're like, it costs $11 in New York. And New York City costs $2,200 for an 800-foot apartment.
Florida costs about the same. No. LA costs about the same. And if you go, let's go in
the most expensive places to live in America, and it costs $11.
Let's take the most expensive places in America where people don't have the money to go. Yeah, let's take the most expensive, $11.50 to go. Okay, you take a family of 3 to a movie, $11.50. Okay, that's at least $44 without the 50 cents added on there.
Wait, who taught you math? A family of 3
I'm sorry,
with $11? That's $33.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, you're right. That's $33.
That's if you go at the prime time hours. Yes, New York doesn't.
They don't have matinees.
They do in L.A. It's You keep bringing up New York because New York is the example that you can use to try to say that it's expensive. You live in Austin. Austin has matinees that'll cost you $4 to $5.50 depending on which time you decide to go.
And even at $33, man, who has enough money? A family that's not making that much money.
A family that goes to an early matinee film on can get in and get 4 people in for what, $21, $22.
You can't afford to go see a movie as much as you want to. I mean,
sure you can. It costs more to fill up a tank on a Suburban than it does to take a family of 4 to a movie.
When we watch movies for free, it's easy for us to say that. We see every fucking movie out there for free.
Dude,
people
even
out
if we
there
didn't, back before we were, seeing every movie for free, I was paying to see every movie.
Yeah, that's you, man. You don't have any kids.
Dude,
you don't have a family.
Our audience is not 40-year-olds with a mortgage and 3 kids. Our audiences are 17-year-old kids who are downloading the movie for free and telling you thank you for telling them that it was online.
And those 17-year-old kids don't have the kind of income that we have either. So how many?
Dude, it's horseshit. How much does a rental cost? How much does a rental cost to rent a fucking movie and show it to a family of 20? It costs $4. You have to wait for it. Oh, but I don't want to wait, so I'll download it for free. Fuck you. You want to see it for free.
Yeah, they want to see it for free.
Yes, that is the argument. The argument is I want to fucking see it for free. I don't want to have to pay because I don't want to pay for what someone else has done.
Because
and you act like I'm on some kind of moral high horse because I want to fucking pay somebody for the work they fucking did.
Because you want to look down on a person that can always afford to see as many movies as you do.
I don't even give you guys a hard time. It just pisses
you want
me
to look
off.
down
You
on
want to
people.
pat people on the back for
course
watching a movie for free.
There's people in another country who
Way to
can't.
go.
No, there's people in another country who don't even have the choice of waiting for that movie to come out.
Those aren't the people I'm talking about.
What are you talking about? You just want to sit up here and talk down to people. You're trying to come up and find any reason for it. Oh, no, be Joe Morrow. Be like me. Don't rent it at all because it's a hard line, black and white. If you steal, you steal. You're guilty, you're guilty. No, fuck you, man.
I'm not going to tell somebody. I want you to pay for your entertainment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you can't afford to see it. Oh, next door.
There we go.
I knew it was going to happen.
And that's our show for this week, folks.
Yeah, I guess I want to read emails so bad, but I guess it is midnight, so yeah. It is so funny too because I knew that they were going to knock at that point. Oh well,
I totally forgot. I didn't realize it was so late now. Well, I guess that's our show for this week.
Yeah, because in order to continue it, we have to set this whole thing up again and everything. Yeah, no, let's Yeah, I guess we have to cut this off.
Well, it's been almost an hour.
It's an hour anyway. Yeah, you're right.
You may not even be recording now.
No, it's still recording.
Okay, well then let's use it while we've got it. So
okay, I'll read this real quick. All right.
you can hear how quiet we got all of
I know
a sudden.
it's like we're kids who've been punished. Yeah, we're at a slumber party. My mom says we gotta be quiet.
We would have been fine if you didn't have to call me a moral bastard.
I didn't say bastard.
You intimated it. You called me an asshole.
You call me an asshole too.
You are an asshole, though.
So, yeah,
I'm not an
exactly. What am I
asshole. You're
supposed to
the
say?
asshole.
What am I supposed
You're
to
a
say?
fucking cock-chugging bastard.
Look, we're the kids who are like still trying to argue when they had to You fuck you, man.
Oh, I feel 12 all over again.
Don't make me laugh.
All right, read the fucking email.
All right, let's see. All right, I won't read the rec one because everybody said thank you, watched it. Everybody thought it was good.
Yes,
regardless. Okay, so we'll
everything I hear about this film is that it's excellent. I'm just waiting to get a legitimate copy, even if it's an import.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, let's see. This one is from Brad Holt, and this is a point that I want to make about people who ask, "How can I sell my script?" Because I mean, you can tell this is a kid. And they think you can just submit a script to Hollywood and it'll be accepted. They say, "Hey, Corey, I don't know if you know anything about the business in Hollywood, but I've been working on a screenplay for a movie. I got it done, but right now I'm fixing all the mistakes. Let me say blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I don't know if you know anything about the business, but if you do, how can I get my screenplay made into an actual Hollywood movie? Like, what would I need to do? Do you know? That's okay if you don't. I just thought I would ask. Because I really want to work in the movie business. Thanks. Brad.
Dude, you should have read this like earlier in the episode because this is a long conversation.
This is a loaded question, but all I can say is the way the business works is you do not just turn in a script and people make your script into a movie. It's a long process.
No, there's so much to really say. What you need to do is you need to start looking at where to submit your script, and you need to try to first get yourself an agent.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't have an agent, they don't even listen to you.
Yeah, no, you really can't. It's so hard to get your foot in the door.
God damn, everything keeps screwing up. Now the computer stopped. But anyway, Brad, as Carlisle said, go and do the research. And also research how many people in Hollywood that you think probably made it overnight, how many loops they had to go through.
Well, very few people actually make it overnight. There's like such a handful, and they usually end up being examples of how not to get into the industry.
Yeah.
You look at Troy Duffy, and he was one of those overnight
Troy
successes.
Duffy, who?
Yeah, the guy who did Boondock Saints. He submitted that one script, and he had one script, and the Weinstein brothers bought it and offered him the chance to direct it, and bought him the bar where he was working, and he was the big new success story, and then it turned into a whole clusterfuck. But point is. Do the research, look it up. There's so many great websites online that'll tell you all the information you need to know. You are fighting an uphill battle, my man, and there is not just an easy way in.
Yeah, and if I could say something here,
Which
Brad,
you can't.
No, please, may I? Please? Before you start screaming at me again. Brad, a lot of the people that made it are the people that did it for the passion. They didn't do it by writing one script and thinking, oh, this is going to be my ticket. How can I get this one script made? The world is full of people who have this one idea and thinking they can get by on it.
Now,
when Tarantino had written tons of scripts.
Now
before
you say that, but everybody starts out with their first script that way.
Yeah,
and that's how we all feel.
But I'm saying, if you write one script, continue to write.
Yes.
Don't give up. I mean, because chances are you probably won't make it by that one script. But if you love writing scripts, if you love doing anything, just be productive. That's all. And I agree with you totally. Do your research. Damn, we gotta get out of here, man. I feel like my mom's gonna come here in a minute. You guys are still up. Go to bed.
Yeah, we are still up.
All right. Thank you tonight.
Thanks for listening to a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
A very quiet couple of cold ones.
Well, very quiet now.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm sure there's people sitting at work who, once we started screaming, had to kind of turn down the volume on their headphones. No, I'm not listening to something at work. I don't know what you're talking about. So good night, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. See you.